Hello, welcome back to Too Many Books. And today, my friends, we don't really have an unboxing so much as we have an unwrapping, because this was shipped with a lifetime supply of bubble wrap. But what we have here is a very special one. This is the lettered edition of Gone South by Robert McCammon from Lividian Publications. I recently did a lettered grab bag from Lividian, hoping to get this one. I did not, but I got a couple others that I had missing, including The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. Definitely worth checking out. I put my feelers out and said, hey, if anybody's got a copy of Gone South, let me know. And somebody reached out and said, yeah, I do have a copy of Gone South. We worked out kind of a partial trade/sale. And I am thrilled to say we now have a PC copy of Gone South lettered edition. Wow, this one is going to be incredible. So this is going to be actually a book comparison video as well. I do have the numbered edition off camera, but this is the numbered edition dust jacket that is printed on the inside of this tray case, clamshell tray case. So we have full leather binding here, featuring some nice little stamping. It's a thicker page block than the numbered edition. We'll see that for ourselves when we dive in. These end papers. There's the frontispiece, which is the front of the dust jacket. This is, of course, signed by Michael Koryta, who did an introduction or an afterword. I think it's an introduction. Robert McCammon, who, of course, wrote it. And Francois Vaillancourt, who, of course, did the incredible artwork. Now, I did do a whole numbered edition unboxing for this, but the numbered editions really don't hold a candle to just how absolutely beautiful these Lividian lettered editions are. They're pricey, don't get me wrong. This, I think, retailed for $950. You could probably find it for cheaper on the secondary market. Lividian has a weird way of the lettered editions being cheaper on the secondary market. This is not a new introduction by Robert McCammon. It was previously published in 2008. There we go, just after midnight. So this was originally published in 1992. It was McCammon's last novel before he did his 10-year retirement. He wanted his follow-up to this to be Speaks the Nightbird. And the publisher said, hell no, don't do historical fiction. You gotta stick with horror. Even though this isn't really horror, per se. But McCammon retired for a decade before finally coming back and deciding to give Matthew Corbett his due share in the writing process. So one thing that we are going to notice with the lettered edition versus the numbered edition is we do have the full color artwork by Francois Vaillancourt, which is just absolutely stunning. This is printed on thicker paper. This is 80-pound page stock. It's multicolored printing. You can kind of see that with the text here. Just beautiful, beautiful printing, particularly on the little header pages for the chapters. You can see the kind of color of that dust jacket kind of bleeding through the background there, which, bleeding through usually is a bad connotation. It's very much a good connotation here because it's meant to be like that. But wow. If you're not familiar with Gone South, there's Flint. Flint is one of the bounty hunters seeking out our protagonists. Gone South is both the literary direction in which the literal sense of where they're going, as well as the more literary form, a metaphor of kind of things going off the rails. If you go south, if you've gone south, you've kind of lost your mind. There's Pelvis Isley, one of the other bounty hunters, a just unforgettable character. Also trying to track down our protagonist. Our protagonist is a Vietnam veteran who has gone south. Due to circumstances that are not entirely his fault. I mean, he's in the wrong place, the wrong time, bad situation. He's suddenly wanted for murder and soon finds himself with a bounty on his head. So having, metaphorically gone south, he decides to literally go south. Soon finds himself with a young woman who is also on a quest, wanting to go south for her own reasons. And they soon find themselves being pursued by a pair and a half of colorful bounty hunters in that remarkable way that only Robert McCammon can just absolutely pull off. I mean, you have an Elvis Presley impersonator, and you have a pair of honestly kind of freak show twins, conjoined twins. I don't want to, don't want to condone them as being referred to as freaks, but I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, they are literally had spent time in a freak show, in like a traveling freak show in the novel. There's Halliday, his partner in crime, so to speak, on his journey down south. But anyways, I mean, as I was saying, when you have an Elvis Presley impersonator and conjoined twins on their being your bounty hunters, you almost feel like it's going to be kind of campy and goofy. But McCammon has such a way with words that he manages to put heart into these characters. I mean, even your antagonists have heart to them. It's done in such a beautifully poetic way that if you haven't read Robert McCammon, you are doing yourself a disservice, and you need to check out McCammon right now. Now, this is, like I said, the limited edition. This is the lettered edition of the Lividian title. There's also a numbered edition, which you can still get pretty cheap. I mean, not like trade edition cheap, but relatively cheap. I mean, compared to, what the cover price was, I think much like the lettered edition, I think the numbered edition also sells for below cover price, or roughly around cover price. But there are trade editions out there as well. There was actually an omnibus that combined Gone South with Boy's Life, which is one of my all-time favorite novels. An absolute masterpiece. I would have killed for a Lividian edition of Boy's Life. I would kill for a whole McCammon library with Lividian editions. Beautiful matching editions would be incredible. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. You know what? I just realized that this frontispiece, I don't think, was in the lettered edition. So technically, the numbered edition has an additional piece of artwork, right? Or was it in there and I flipped through and just missed it when I was flipping through? But anyways, Boy's Life got snagged up by Suntup, which I am totally fine with as well. That is not me, dissing Paul Suntup. Not to diss Brian James Freeman of Lividian, but honestly, the numbered edition for Suntup is going to be like the letter edition for Lividian. So it's really apples and oranges. Lividian is an exceptional small press, whereas Suntup is a fine press. So Boy's Life is getting the Suntup treatment. But if you want to save money and read two of McCammon's best back-to-back, there is a wonderful duology, a nice little compendium that includes Boy's Life and Gone South. You can see the paper difference, the thickness difference right there. Holy crap. This lettered edition is massive compared to the numbered edition. Like if you want to compare with the tray case, for example, this lettered edition is a very nice fit for the tray case, almost flush with the boards there, the edge of it. The numbered edition, you're looking at like half an inch, if not more, of space there. Wow. Hell of an upgrade. Well worth it. The numbered edition, like I said, is still very nice. Very nice edition. It has not really a leather, but like this kind of faux leathery material to it. Still a very nice edition. It does have a full color frontispiece. It is still signed by Koryta, McCammon, and Francois Vaillancourt. The biggest difference is going to be that the paper, it's not printed in color. The paper itself is a little bit thinner than the letter edition. I mean, it's still very nice paper, very crisp, very, very exquisite paper to have if you want a nice reading copy. But it's not as fancy as an 80-pound lettered edition stock. But the biggest difference as well is going to be the black and white, the grayscale artwork as opposed to the full color artwork, which is a shame because Francois Vaillancourt's artwork really, really does well as full color artwork. But hey, you got to keep the costs down to keep the editions affordable. And for the price that you're getting, this was $150 with like 13 pieces of artwork in it. The slipcase, I mean, getting $150 and getting all that for it is quite a bargain for small presses these days. I mean, you look at like Subterranean Press or Grimrock Press, which might include colored artwork, but not as much. They won't include slipcases, and they might include kind of a similar paper stock you're looking at. It's probably a little bit pricier than $150, mostly due to that color artwork that's included in some of those. But anyways, like I say, it's nothing to roll your eyes at. The numbered edition for Gone South is still a very nice edition, but man, I am thrilled to upgrade it to a lettered edition. So thank you very much to John for doing the partial trade sale to help me acquire this lettered edition from Lividian. This actually, I believe, I believe now I'm only missing 3 letter. Well, I'm missing more than 3, but 3 attainable letter editions from Lividian. I have another one that is inbound, so hopefully in a few days it should be arriving. The Dog Stars. Heller's The Dog Stars. A nice letter edition for that, which I did a trade with. That one's coming from Australia, so it's, got a little bit of a journey. But hopefully I'll have an unboxing for that and a comparison video for that very shortly. The only other ones I'm missing that are attainable, and I mentioned attainable because there's, of course, the Joe Hill ones and the Stephen King one, way outside my budget. Those are even more deluxe than this letter edition. We're talking like high quality, like the highest quality paper. Just absolutely way out of my budget. That's like $1,000 if $1,000 at the minimum for each of those titles. That's just not happening. Would love to, but it's just not happening. But of the attainable titles, I have the Dog Stars coming. That just leaves Them by W.H. Chismar and The Night Country by Stuart O'Nan. Plus, whatever future lettered editions are coming up. I know Leviathan will likely get a lettered edition. I believe Prayer for the Dying is not getting a letter edition, which is a bummer because, it's a Stuart O'Nan title. You'd love them kind of, go hand in hand, but it is what it is. But anyways, I think there might be one last grab bag, kind of a winner-take-all sort of thing that Brian might do. He's in the process of moving and packing stuff up. So if that grab bag does come to fruition, be sure to be subscribed to Brian James Freeman's Patreon. The paid members get first notice of those grab bags, and then the free members after that. So if the paid members spots are all taken, which they probably are, be sure to do the free subscription, because, hey, you can't beat free. But if you are able to join the paid level, be sure to do it the paid level, because it is the single best Patreon subscription out there. I mean, bar none. It is just, wow, it is incredible. But seriously, check out Robert McCammon. The man is an absolute legend. And there's no better starting point than finding the duology set that includes A Boy's Life and Gone South. The novels are not connected. They both just happen to take place in the South, and they're both written by Robert McCammon, still going under Robert R. McCammon at the time. But, pick it up, sit down, and buckle in, because you're about to find a new favorite writer. So anyways, thank you guys very much to Brian James Freeman for the incredible productions that he continues to put out. Thank you very much to John for the trade/sale of this letter edition. Thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I do at least one book review a week with plenty of unboxings in between there, including some future Lividian unboxings and at least one more book comparison when the Dog Stars arrive. So anyways, thank you guys once again for watching, and we'll see you around next time.